G weather overview, taking a look at our winter storm for late Wednesday into early Thursday. Now, I think this is one of the better graphics that I've seen depicting our upcoming storm, trying to get a handle on what's going to happen. The trickiest part of the forecast is really for Long Island and coastal New Jersey. I think the northern half of Long Island may end up seeing more snow than the southern half of Long Island. And it's just one of these things where it's just going to be timing out how close the storm is to the coast, and it's only going to make a difference of about 10, 20 miles. And if you're a regular viewer of the weather overview, you know that this is a common theme with these significant winter storms, especially early in the season. I think if we were 3 or 4 weeks out, into the winter, further into January, I don't think this would be as much of a question. But there can be some warm air mixing in at times along the coast. But the heaviest snow will move through probably between 4 p.m. and 2 a.m. from late Wednesday into Thursday. So I think that a lot of places are going to see at least 5, 6 inches of snow before there's any type of changeover on Long Island, if it happens at all. So this is why this graphic, I think, is very good. Take a look at it. Take a look at it on weather.gov. It'll be updated throughout the course of the night, I'm sure. Now, when we look at the overall setup, we can see off the Penn State EWOL site that our storm is making headway. It's moving through Oklahoma. It's going to be moving through parts of the south, and then it's going to be making its way into the northeast. But it's going to hit a roadblock with that high pressure situated over southeast Canada, and that's really one of the main ingredients that's fueling this whole thing. Without that high, this storm would just keep moving on its merry way. So if we look at the weather map off of the NAM model for 8 a.m. tomorrow, you notice that big H, and that's our high pressure, and that's not going to allow this storm to just scoot out to sea harmlessly. Instead, it's going to provide plenty of cold air, and it's not going to allow this storm to just bypass the tri-state area. So between 3 and 5 o'clock, snow is going to break out across the tri-state area, and it's going to rain along the Jersey Shore. Along the Jersey Shore, you're going to have to wait for the low center to be east of you, so snow may not get into there until after midnight. Now, for the rest of the tri-state area, snow is going to come heavy at times, and I think there can be a 3 to 5 hour period where it's snowing 1 to 2 inches an hour. So if you can get home early tomorrow, that would be your best bet. Hopefully you have the ability to do that. And then by midnight, 1 o'clock, that's when the storm is going to make its closest approach. And this is where the forecast headaches come into play, especially across Long Island. Can that warm air make its way off of the relatively warm Atlantic water for this time of year? We're looking at temperatures that are in the 50s still across our coastal waters. And can that wind change direction just ever so slightly to allow that warm air to make inroads? And I think it will for a couple of hours. But before that happens, we'll get accumulating snow and a heavy burst at that before midnight, and then after midnight we'll see if there is a changeover. Now on the backside of the low, as the low pulls away, there can be more snow, and even in places that change over to a sleet ice mix, it can go back over to snow on the backside of the low, which we see happen a lot of the time. So I think there's two things you can expect. Number one, there will be changes to the forecast, even up until the last minute. And two, this snow or whatever we get from it is going to stick around for a while. Temperatures are not really going to go above 35 through the weekend. So what we get is what we get. Here's my idea on it. I think 6 to 10, generally speaking, across the area. We may make that up in 2 bouts with an interlude in the middle. So if you're in Manhasset, you may never change over. But if you're in Melville, you may have a period of sleet, freezing rain, and then it may go back over to snow at the end. North and west, different story. I don't think the changeover ever really makes it in there. I think you get the heaviest snow bands, and a little bit colder temperatures than the coastal areas should make for a very significant storm. And then the further away you get from the storm up into the Hudson Valley, that's where snow totals will be slightly less. Along the Jersey Shore, as I said, it looks like it will start as rain and then go over to snow once the low center goes by.